I'm Jonn Lunsford. I'm a local beekeeper. I work for the city of Anacortes. My wife is Miss Lisa, the librarian, and she thought it'd be good if I showed you what we do with bees in our yard. And the simplest way to start is with the stingless bees, or the blue orchard mason bees. And these are the homes that they live in. If you're allergic to bees, you can still have bees in your yard and not get stung with these kinds of bees because they don't sting. And they pollinate about 90% of the flowers that they visit, so that's great. What we did, my son and I, he's in the Green Club at high school, we built these bee boxes out of just things around our garage. So these are old candidates signs, and then this is just untreated fur that was painted and we had to sand it off. We found it works best if you do sand it pretty nicely, that the bees don't get tangled up in it. So I'll take one off the wall. This is on my west-facing wall, and you can see how the mason bees have filled up the areas where they want to lay with mud. So they put in, they pack it in with pollen, and then the female lays eggs, and then she packs it with more pollen and then mud and walls them all off with the females in the back, and then towards the front she puts the males. The males are more susceptible to predation, but they aren't as important in the evolutionary cycle, the reproductive cycle of the bees. So we just put those there, and we have quite a few, and I didn't have to buy any of these. We just built these and they literally came to them. So if you want to have bees and pollinators in your yard and are allergic to bees or don't want to fuss with having honeybees and all that entails, which we'll see in a minute, then this is a super easy way to do it. So like I said, it's 3 8-inch holes. Untreated wood is the best. You can see these are about 6 by 6s, and they like that kind of depth to go in. And then just some kind of roof, and then angle them slightly so the water will beat off. And they just come and fill it up. This has taken us about 5 years to get this many, but we have more on the other side of the house. This is the west-facing side, a little bit of shade. They like that. So just try it around the shed or your garage and see where you can put them that works the best. And good luck. So now we're at our beehive with our European honeybees. Apis mellifera is the Latin name. And so they do sting. So that's why I'm wearing this nice outfit, and that's what you would need to wear too. And so before you go into your hive, you want to check out what they're doing. That's what I like to do, have a plan, because you're kind of tearing the roof off and tearing their home apart, and you want to do it quickly and calmly so as they can get back to the work they want to do. So what I'm doing now is just kind of watching to see who's bringing in what. And with the honeybees, they're going to bring in a couple different things into the hive. They're going to bring in pollen, that's for the eggs and the larvae to grow, nectar to make into honey, water for themselves, and other products if they're going to make things like propolis, which is another hive product. So these are full of pollen in their back legs of their pollen basket, and that's what they're taking in to help with the newly laid eggs. So we're gonna take off the roof and the inner cover and go inside. And what we're gonna be doing is we're gonna be pulling out frames like this. This is an old frame that I cleaned off, and we sterilize it with heat with like a blowtorch to kind of kill anything, and then we scrub it off. And then what you'll see inside is newly formed wax. Newly formed wax is super kind of butter yellow in color, and this is old wax. This is old wax, and it's not impure, it's just colored by thousands of little bee legs walking on it with pollen and other things. This is honey up here that they saved from the previous hive. When I got these bees, I had some old honey and I put it inside. This jar is filled with sugar water, and it helps to kind of feed them as they get established. And so in the Pacific Northwest, we have different honey flows. Right now, all the trees are blooming, and that's great. And then blackberries, Himalayan blackberries is a big honey flow. Knotweed is a big honey flow. Obviously 2 invasive plants, and these are really invasive insects as well, so they do well with that. And so we are gonna get ready now to light our smoker. And we do that to kind of disorient the bees. What it does is it calms them and makes them kick in some evolutionary trait that makes it think it's a forest fire, and then they gorge on honey and then get prepared to fly away, but we don't want them to do that, and they won't. It also disrupts their chemical communication, which makes them think that I'm a bear, And if I disrupt that communication, they're less likely to attack me. You can see they're pretty calm. I'm standing here without my hood, and they are just going about their business. They don't really care about me until I go inside. So what we're going to do is take this box, and we're going to put this on top after I go inside and check how the queen is laying. We're going to add, this is called a bee box, or sometimes it's called a super, and I'm going to put a second one in to help them have more room to grow so they can just keep expanding. So we're going to check and see how her laying pattern is, and we'll show you the eggs and all the things like that. And by her I mean the queen, and we'll get ready for that next phase. The smoker ready, and then I take any green, wet, moist thing to kind of cool the smoke so it doesn't burn them, and I stuff it in the top. Feels like a bellows, like a little furnace, you can see. And then on it goes. And then I just, so the underneath the hive is a board like this, and it's has this wire mesh so that things can drop out. So bugs that get on them, like parasites and things, varroa mite, if that gets on them, it could fall out when they clean themselves. It gives them an advantage without having to use chemicals. I don't use any chemicals in my hive. I don't think that's the thing to do. Others choose to do that. I don't. So that's a screened bottom board. So now you can see I'm going to use that to my advantage and smoke them through the bottom screen. See, I still don't have my gloves on, and they still don't care about me. So that's the white smoke is coming out. That's cool to the touch. See, it's not problematic in any way. And that's what you want. You don't want to burn your bees. You just want to smoke them. All right. So now I'm going to glove up and go in. If you have bees, you will get stung. It's inevitable. If you are allergic, like I am, you want to take Benadryl. I don't take it until I get stung, but I always carry it because I've been doing this for about 13 or 14 years, and you get stung. I may get stung today. Okay, so we're going to smoke them again a little bit. Okay, and this is the outer cover. Some bees inside. This is a Hive Tool. As you can see, it's very sharp. It's used, it also has this for pulling, helping to pull frames. Here we go. So they're pretty calm. They've made this, it's called feral comb on their top board. They're pretty calm, as you can see from the smoke. They won't stay that way a long time. So we're gonna, the main thing today is just to see how the queen is laying. So I'm gonna go into the inner part of the hive where she's located and pull out a frame. We probably won't see the queen. We just want to see if she's laying and what the pattern's like, to see if she's healthy and what the future of the hive looks like. Ah, this is textbook. Okay, so this, the different colored, that's unlaid, but these are all capped brood. So it takes 21 days for these eggs to emerge. So this is a perfect laying pattern, so she's super healthy. They can defy gravity. Another beautiful, beautiful combs and brood there. So these will be hatching soon. Looks perfect. I've learned what I need to learn, and so I want to get back out. She's filled up a couple of these frames that I can see, so that means she's laying really healthily. And I want to let her do that. So the smoke has done its job. You want to go super slow because you don't want to squish anything. When the bees start to get agitated, They let off a scent that smells kind of like imitation banana. If you smell that smell, you know that you are about to get a little more activity. So I don't have that smell. I'm going to put these on and get out. I want this entrance hole in the front. I go down slowly so they have a chance to get out of the way, and that's that. So now they're there. Clean it off. Which is hard to do with these gloves, and they go back in. I need to take care of this feral comb that's in the way. So I'll just kind of push it out with the Hive Tool and set it inside. They'll take care of that. Again, going super slow so they don't get squished. There's probably about 5,000 or more bees in there, and then when all those other bees hatch in a couple days, there'll be even more. They just keep growing exponentially, and that's why the sugar water is here to help them get the food that they need right now, because they don't have enough honey to sustain them, and then the pollen they're bringing in, as you saw. So that is that. So now we close it up slowly again, kind of shake it a little bit, and that's it. So they are ready to go, and you can see they're pretty calm. Other kinds of bees are a little more aggressive. These are Italian honeybees. There's carniolan bees, and I've had Italian bees, which these are, carniolan bees, and Russian bees. The Russian bees are much more aggressive. They're great at cleaning themselves. They're super hygienic. They're very hardy, but they're very, very aggressive. So that's my story from the beehive. Thanks for joining us. And if you want to be a beekeeper, the best way to do that is to read up about it. It takes a lot of time and investment. It's fun. It really helps pollinate your crops in your yard. And you want to make friends with another beekeeper, because that's the best way to learn. If you don't have a friend, then you're going to be kind of shooting in the dark for a while. So if you have questions, just try to find a beekeeper who's friendly and can help you and kind of fits with what your ideas are about beekeeping, if you want to use chemicals or not, and then how to go about it in your locale, and ask them all the questions you want. Thanks for joining us. Have a great day.